Welcome back, my little horrors, to another Dragula Season 6 review.
You're joking. Not another one?
This week's episode was filled with terrifying tarantulas, fabulous floor shows, and a little sprinkle of drama. Because what's Dragula without a dash of chaos? So grab your shovels and let's dig 6 feet into episode 9. Roll the intro. We kick things off around the coffin-shaped table as per usual. And I have to say, Asia looked incredible. I loved her mucky scarlet moment in that red dress with the grey shoulder pads. It was fabulous. We have Auntie return from last week's brutal snowstorm extermination. And I'm so glad that she's still here. She absolutely deserves her spot in the final few. But honestly, I do miss Pie already. One moment I really loved was between Auntie and Yuri. Yuri took the time to give Auntie some compliments about her kind nature and her drag, and it was very clear that this meant a lot. I really like seeing these parts of the show. It shows there's still humanity, even in monsters. This week's theme was Dead by Daylight. Now I'll admit I haven't played the game myself, but I've done some research since watching the episode, and I definitely had already heard of it and kind of had an idea of what it was. And already it looks like something I'd be absolutely obsessed with. And we have a very specific concept on top of that, which is cryptids and urban myths. This is very up my alley.
Right up my street.
My look today is actually inspired by none other than the iconic Bloody Mary. What? This story frightened me many a times as a child. And on top of this, all of the monsters had to create a signature kill move for their creature creation. Oh, and the winning look gets added to the actual game. Iconic. But before the floor show, we had a Fright feat. Just a little easy one, you know. A tarantula challenge! The contestants had to reach into a box full of tarantulas whilst blindfolded. They're reaching in to collect a Dead by Daylight game inside of the tarantula tank, and the stakes? Immediate extermination if they refused or failed. Auntie was in full scare mode before the challenge, psyching everyone out with her terrifying tarantula facts. I absolutely love this. Now, I'm sure these spiders aren't particularly dangerous or aggressive spiders, but spiders do and can bite. It's kind of like a bee sting though. They're not going to do it unless they feel threatened, so I wouldn't have minded reaching into the box without a blindfold on because it's quite easy to navigate inside, but with a blindfold on it's scary that you're going to like squish them and scare them and freak them out. Get out of the way! But they all do pretty well. Yuri seemed pretty terrified, but to be honest I think I would be kind of freaked out as well. I don't really like sensory things, and not being able to see and touching different things, that always sends a shiver down my spine. I think Asia did really well here. She always seems to do well in these Fright feats where it's all about fearlessness. She's so fierce and I really love her attitude. We go around the room before the floor show and speak to each of the monsters individually and get a sneak peek at their looks. Auntie's look really stood out to me here. I loved her clawed heels and her clawed gloves. I've been saying all season that people need to be putting claws and monster feet on their heels, and I love to see it finally. Oh, I lost a nail! Look her back in. At this point in the show, all the contestants are pretty strong when it comes to look. Like, the only people who are left are stylish people with great aesthetics, so I'm very excited for this floor show. So, the Boulet Brothers, I think, look great this week. I really love these bat prosthetics that they're wearing. I think they look super clean and polished, and I really love the neck detailing. Like, having this collar piece as well really adds to the whole look. I think the paint job is absolutely immaculate on these. I love the colouring in the skins. I think they look really realistic, actually. I also really like the dresses that they're wearing, even if they are a little simple. I think I would have looked nice with some big shoulder pieces, like a pointed shoulder, or maybe just something more going on the top of the dresses. I noticed that they were wearing the same necklace as they did in their looks last week, and I think they looked much better with these looks. I'd rather them save them for these looks and put something else with the last ones. I also really love their textured, long, clawed fingernails. They were kind of like bony and white and bloody and detailed. They'd even like detailed the nail bed where the nail was growing out of. It was all red and sore. And I thought they were really well finished, these two looks. We have the wonderful Niharu as a judge. I absolutely love Niharu. I met her in LA when I visited, and she was so sweet and kind and also so lovely and supportive. She's such a star and so talented, and she looks impeccable as always. I love this metallic silver insexual sort of vibe that she's got going on. And our other judge is Matthew Cote from Dead by Daylight. Auntie came as a Payaso, which is like a flying mythological creature based in Illinois. I think she looked impeccable. I really, really love this look. The size of the wings and the wings being able to move. Oh, love that detail. I thought that was really, really cool. I loved her giant tail that she had. And again, the claws on her gloves and shoes worked really, really well. I thought they looked great. Yeah, the mechanism for her wings was so cool. I love that they flap. I think that took the look to the next level. She was kind of giving me like zombie Spyro, which I loved. I agreed with the Boulets when they said she looked a little too clean. I think it would have looked really cool if she'd had like a fully textured bodysuit with like scales, but that's so much work. And these queens only have a certain amount of time to prepare for this, so that's asking too much. But I'm gonna draw it anyway because I think it would have looked really cool. I also loved Auntie's makeup with this look. She has a really signature face and some really signature features that she always pulls out, and I think it looked really, really good with this. So, as I said, I kind of wanted to add some more texture, so I went in and drew these scales with like a lighter colour, and then I went around with the darker colour to give it some more depth. I also brought them onto the head there to kind of marry them into the look, and I tried out a white beard, but I didn't like it, so I stuck with the black, and I also joined them to the shoes. Moving on to Asia Consent. So Asia came as an Ice Wendigo. She had this big furry structured outfit and this beautiful skull mask. I love the silhouette that she brought with the big hips and the big shoulders. It felt imposing, it felt high fashion. I also really loved the bone mask that she wore and the bones on her costume. She had this exposed heart feature on her chest, which I thought was a great idea and really cool. The whole look felt really cohesive and finished and refined. I really loved this look from Asia. Definitely one of my favorite looks that she's brought this season. And out of all of her looks, I think this seems the most refined and polished and thought out, the most drawn back even, but in the best way possible. It's like one clear, strong concept that she's pushed to the extreme and followed through really, really well. My only critique would have been maybe a different shoe. I think she could have done some crazy big monster foot with it again or something like that. First of all, I gave Asia some like monstery clawed feet with heels. I thought that was kind of fun. And then I gave her this like skeleton hand on the crotch. I thought it was nice to mirror the bones on the chest. And then also I got rid of her hair. I thought it gave her a more clean silhouette. Moving on to Yuri. Yuri brought a mud mermaid look, which was really cool actually. I like this like oil slick, green, swampy vibe that she had. I really like the fashiony, stylish elements that she brought to it. The spiky spine, the pointed ears, and the long fingers were stunning. I really liked those touches. But I think this look might have leaned a little bit too much towards the fashion side of it. The velvet fishtail dress kind of felt a little glam maybe for this character. I would have loved to have seen it with like a painted body so we could put some more detail and skin texture in there. Maybe with some sort of top piece and a headpiece. I think that would have added to this look. But overall, it was gorgeous. She looked great. It was just a little understated, I think, compared to everyone else. So with Yuri, I kind of got rid of her hair and made her like half bald. I thought it was kind of giving like swamp witch sort of siren vibes. And then I tried this fishbone look with like fishbone jewelry. But then I kind of started this seaweed concept, which I preferred. So I made her like a seaweed crown and all this like bedraggled seaweed hanging from her skirt and her chest, just to give it a more sort of monstrous vibe. And lastly, onto grey matter. Grey brought us this dark fawn creature, and it was creepy and captivating, as always. I really love Grey's chunky furry legs and his mask and horns. Actually, I think his face for this was really, really cool. I loved all the wrinkles and just the shape of the sculpt, actually. I also really like the coat that they wore at the start of the floor show. It had these big pointed shoulders and it gave so much drama to the look. I liked that bulky silhouette that Grey had when they walked out on stage. I thought that looked really cool. And when they dropped it, I think it did look a little drawn back, the look. Maybe there could have been like a shoulder piece with it or a chest piece. It just felt a little empty from the waist up. But again, it felt like a real character, it felt believable, it felt like it fit in the world of Dead by Daylight to me. I think Grey ticked all the boxes here. His look was just a little bare. So this video is really quick because I just kind of copied and pasted Grey's fur texture onto the shoulders and onto the chest. And then I gave him this like extra arm cuff. But that's about it, to be honest. It's kind of hard to think of stuff to do to these looks now. They're all so good. In the deliberation, we get to see a close-up of the Boulets makeup. And I have to say again, how stunning this is. It looks really polished, like there are no seams, the texture is really well painted, just super impressive. I really love these looks. Props to the Boulets this week. So the Boulet Brothers decide that Asia is the winner of this week's challenge. I think it's very well deserved. I think I would have given it to Asia this week as well. I really loved her look on the stage. I actually think this and her Art the Clown look from episode 1 are my two favourite looks that she's brought this season. They're both killer looks, really, really cool. And sadly, the other three are up for extermination. But the extermination this week looks like balls of fun. It's a whole paintball, bruising, coffin collecting calamity. The monsters have to basically find these little coffins all around the room to gain points, all whilst being shot at with paintballs. But before the extermination, there was some tea in the boudoir. Ooh. Auntie made a comment about Yuri being not top 3 material, and Yuri snapped back, saying Auntie's vibe was making the room uncomfortable. To be honest, this whole interaction felt a little bit messy. Yuri ended up apologising, but honestly, it felt like a bit of a miscommunication. I think both people had valid feelings, but the tensions are high this close to the finale, so what do we expect? So they enter the extermination, and honestly, this looks like fun. I love these sorts of games where you're like running around chasing after something. I love a bit of laser quest, I love an escape room. I've never done paintballing and I know it's supposed to really hurt, but I think that's kind of fun, like there's actual consequences to it. It makes it more real. Sadly, it's Yuri who meets her demise this week, joining the ranks of Dragula's dearly departed. It's always tough to say goodbye at this stage. So that's it for this week, my darling deviants. The competition is tighter than ever, and the stakes are higher than a vampire's collar. Who will claw their way to the top, and who will be left in the dust? Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single spooky second. Until next time, stay freaky, stay fabulous, and keep slaying. Literally. My nails aren't even actually made of nails today. They're like plastic bottles that I cut up. So they don't stick very well to my nails. In fact, if you look closely enough, you'll see that they're not actually stuck to my nails. The majority of them are stuck to my finger below the nail. Can you see? Have you got your Christmas decorations up yet, anyone? I am. I put them up the other day. I actually put them up on my birthday. It was my birthday on the 16th of November. And I didn't really celebrate this year. I just wasn't feeling very celebratory. So instead of celebrating, I put up the Christmas decorations because that's what I wanted to do. So now I have my Christmas tree up already, and my living room is all covered in pink tinsel, which is lovely. It's very nice and festive in there. So, has anyone else got their Christmas decorations up yet? Ooh. Ah, okay. Bye, have a nice day.